Thank you very much, Lucy. Good day, Rob. Rob, what were your objectives for this warm-up game? And then lastly, can you just talk us through what actually happened with Timber? You don't have to go in detail, but just like what would transpire when you got there in India?
Yeah, I suppose from an objectives point of view, like any warm-up game in the World Cup is obviously just to try and keep the momentum that we gained in the back end of the Australia series. Continue acclimatizing. Obviously, the heat's very different that we've been exposed to compared to what it was in South Africa before coming. And yeah, just get some time on the legs. The last three games, from a bowling point of view, only went to 35 overs, so we desperately wanted to get a full 50 overs out there, but unfortunately the weather didn't play ball. Look, as far as Timber goes, there's nothing really I can say. It's a personal situation, and for personal reasons that he left the team, and we're just looking forward to him coming back next week.
Thanks, Nathan. Who would like to take the next question? Just a reminder to please indicate in the chat panel or by raising your hand. Thanks, Stu.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Rob. I know what you've just mentioned about the bowlers, but I guess does that come down to plans a lot, because it is very different bowling in India than especially what was the case for those last two ODIs against Australia. I mean, are you happy that they'll be able to kind of make the adapting that they need to do to those conditions in the time they have left? Given that they've now missed a big game.
Again, I think the fortunate part of the series in South Africa was the fact that we were exposed to 5 different pitches, really, right from the very first game in Bloemfontein till the Wanderers at the end. So, that stands us in good stead. I think, at the end of the day, you still have to be able to respond to the conditions in front of you, have a skill set that matches the needs of the game, and be able to execute that. So, for us, it would really just be, again, reading another pitch, trying to understand what it needs from us, and then being able to execute the skill set. So, it's never great missing game time. We're fortunate that we've played just recently. You can hear the sounds of India in the background, which is awesome as always. But I think, just the Australians are staying with us, and I don't think they can think of anything worse than getting on the field right now. So, yeah, I think we're in a good position. We would have loved to have had a run out, but hopefully we get one in 2 days' time.
Thanks, Stu. We're going to go Zahir, then Nathan.
How's it, Rob? Obviously, before the World Cup, you lost Anas and you lost Sisanda, and now Timba's going to go home. How do you keep within a squad, keeping the main thing, and just blocking out all the, everything else that's going around the team?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a fine balancing act, but I think it's still early days this year, and this World Cup campaign. So we're just getting into it. We had 3 excellent days of training. We're meant to play today. We took 2 knocks prior to leaving. And from Timber's point of view, we're hoping that he's back next week, so the sort of impact on the team will be negligible, really. We obviously would have loved for him to have played, but a guy like Timber has played a lot and played very well recently, so I'm not too worried about him personally. And from a team point of view, it's just one of those things. The guys are evolving, and they understand how things roll and how to adapt pretty quickly these days.
Thanks. Going to go Nathan, then Myron.
Thank you, Lucy, again. Rob, can you just speak about Tom? What impact has Tom had on the side? At the moment, obviously, you guys are on an upward curve at the moment in terms of performance.
I think Tom, for me, I think his role is underestimated in terms of the things that get done behind the scenes, really. So, from the coach's team point of view, he's great in terms of observing our coaching. He understands what we're trying to achieve, both in language and in action. So he's great in keeping us on track there. From a team point of view, he's made some nice connections with individuals who lean on him, when needs be, and then again an overall assessment of where the team's at. It's nice to have someone who's dipped his toe in the water from a cricket point of view, but also has had access to high performing teams in the rugby space, and then obviously in his own personal capacity. So yeah, just nice to have a fresh lens and fresh eyes. I think we're all trying to achieve the same thing together, and it's nice to have a differing view at times.
Thanks. Myron?
How's it, Rob? Thanks, Lucy. Yeah, just a little bit of a follow-up on Tom's role. And Rob, can you just take us a little bit into where you guys are staying in Kerala? It looks quite beautiful from the pictures. How's the team settled in India? And unfortunate that you don't get a game in, but with a week to go, what are you guys doing outside of training and outside from a technical point of view to get the mentality, obviously where you wanted to be ahead of the start of the World Cup?
Yeah, to be honest, the predominance of our time together has been on the training field, on the field or in the nets. Look, Tom currently is not here because he's just had the birth of his baby daughter, so he'll be joining us soon enough. But yeah, from a team point of view, again, we spend a hell of a lot of time together. We were together obviously throughout the series against Australia, and being here for me is really just a continuation of that, continuation of the things that we're working on. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to do anything significantly differently. We're trying to just continually upskill ourselves, continually connect tightly as a team, and be ready for whatever's in front of us over the coming weeks.
Thanks, Myron. Going to go Neil, and then if there are any other further questions, just a reminder to please raise your hand. Go ahead, Neil.
Oh, sorry. Hello, Rob. Sorry if I missed this. Not today, but I just wondered if you could provide some clarity on Sisanda's position. Obviously, we had Ryan Rickleton a little earlier, a year ago, not going to Australia and then playing a full season for the Lions, and Sisanda looked pretty good on TV when he bowled the other day for the Lions. I just wondered if you could provide some clarity on that.
Yeah, look, I mean, the decision on Sisanda was an incredibly difficult one. I think first and foremost, every squad that I've picked since being head coach has had him in it because I do value him as a performer for this team. But unfortunately, throughout the Aussie series, we just couldn't get him on the park, and everyone was working hard to make that happen, but it just didn't happen. And as you would have read, the regulations for the World Cup are very different to those with the Lions. If he pulls up for the Lions through the game or before the game, he just gets replaced. However, the World Cup, it's a little bit different in that we can't replace him if he arrives with an existing injury, which was the case. So we had to make a call based on that risk and put the team endeavours first. The last thing we need is to, be in a World Cup where we're carrying a bowler and all the legwork has to be done by the 5 other fast bowlers in the team. So yeah, I mean, it's no more complicated than that. Just the risk of him with that debilitating injury. It is a chronic tendinopathy, so it can flare up at any stage. And with that in mind, we're just going to take the risk of having him here. All things being equal, from our point of view, I hope he does play, and I hope he does continue to play. And we do miss him here. But at the end of the day, we don't have a crystal ball, and we couldn't predict other than what was in front of us over the weeks, that led up to the decision.
Thanks, Neil. We're going to go take one from Percival, then Zahir.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Coach. Coach, can I ask you, my colleague Nathan asked you a question. I'm just going to ask you to try and rephrase that question again. Maybe just clarity on Timber. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing to be concerned about him. Or is it, has he had to go home to go and celebrate something, though, sir?
No, there's nothing wrong with Tim's personally. So it is a personal, family reason that he's gone home.
Is he any truth that Timber has become a father?
Can't comment on that.
Thanks, Percival. We're going to go Zahir, then Kaz.
Very short one. What is Tom's actual designated title?
So he's the team's performance coach.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Zahir. We got Kaz. Then we're going to look to wrap with one more from Nathan.
Hi, Rob. I'm sure very frustrating, and it seems like more rain being predicted over the next couple of days here. Always expectation around South Africa at at World Cups and just listening to commentators, they all have you in the top 4. As coach and knowing South Africa's history in World Cups and the journey, how are you taking the team through this journey, and what is the mood in the camp around expectation at World Cups?
Well, I don't listen to much commentary, but things must have changed. A few weeks ago, we were, I think, 6 to 8. so it's nice that the perception has changed of the team a little bit. But I mean, as you say, I think the expectations of the team never change. You know, South Africans are proud sports people. They're a proud cricket-loving nation. They want to see the team do well. Everyone is, has this burning desire to see us lift a World Cup trophy. The team's no different. I think the most important thing is one of the oldest cliches in the book. It's a cliche for the reason is that we're just building up to game 1. Need to hit the ground running for game 1. This World Cup, I think, will be incredibly tight. There isn't a bad team in the World Cup. I think anyone can beat anyone on a day. And for us, it's really about making sure we rock up each day, starting with obviously our prep now, and then when Sri Lanka arrives for the first official game, we take that game, as our first building block towards hopefully something significant at the end of it.
Wishing you all the best.
Thanks, Kaz.
Great. We're going to go Nathan, and then we will take a very last one from Myron.
Thank you very much again, Lucy. Rob, next game on Monday against New Zealand, we're seeing the women's side led by Laura Wolford played against New Zealand as well and scored a century. What will you be expecting from that warm-up game against them at Greenfield Stadium?
Firstly, it's awesome to see the ladies doing so well. They continue to set a great standard. So, as I said, it's awesome to see them and Laura playing so well. From our point of view, I think it's really important to put warm-up games into context. So we need to get out of it what we need. Most importantly, we want to just keep playing well and keep playing well with our brand. New Zealand teams are always competitive. They're currently playing right now. And so they continue to have played a fair bit of cricket in the last little while. So we know that it's a competitive game. If we do get on the field, it's always great to have strong competition as you lead into a World Cup tournament. So, I don't think it'll be any different if we do get on the field. And as I said, we'll certainly be looking to make sure we get the max out of that fixture as we possibly can.